Hi, welcome back to Real Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sarah. So glad you're here with us today.
So, Sarah, I have to tell you something small that happened this morning. I was making tea and I just stood there. No phone, no podcast in my ears, just me and the kettle. And I thought, wow, I almost forgot what quiet feels like.
Oh, I love that. I had a moment like that yesterday. I was walking to the corner shop and I noticed this tiny yellow flower growing between two pieces of pavement. And I stopped. Just stopped. Because it was kind of beautiful and also kind of brave, growing in a hard place like that.
That's actually a perfect way to come into today's topic, because today we're talking about something that can be hard to grow: self-love.
And if that phrase makes you want to roll your eyes a little, we get it. But stay with us, because this conversation is not about bubble baths or trendy quotes. It's about something real.
We're at B1 to B2 level today, clear, natural English.
So take a breath, get comfortable, and let's begin.
Okay, so let's start with something that I think a lot of people don't realize about themselves. The way you treat yourself becomes a kind of signal, a standard that you send to the world around you.
A standard. That's a good word for it. Like an invisible message.
Exactly. And I like to think of it as an inner price tag. Not in a cold commercial way, but more like, what do you believe you're worth? Because people tend to treat you the way you treat yourself.
I felt that. There was a period when I kept saying yes to everything. A friend needed help moving. Yes. An extra project at work? Yes. Covering someone's shift? Yes. And I was exhausted and quietly resentful. But I didn't know how to stop because I thought saying no meant I was being unkind.
And that's where the word boundaries comes in. And I want to talk about that word because some people hear it and think, oh, that means building a wall, keeping people out.
But it's not a wall. It's a door.
Yes, a door. You get to decide when it opens. You get to decide who comes in. A door with a handle on your side.
And that shift, from thinking about boundaries as rejection to thinking about them as doors, that changed something for me. Because a door doesn't say, go away. It says, I'll let you in when I'm ready.
And here's the thing. When you start to set those gentle, honest limits, you're not being selfish. You're being sustainable.
Sustainable. I love that. Like, you can only give from what you actually have.
Exactly. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Okay, next thing. And this one is something I think about a lot. Self-worth. What does it actually mean?
So self-worth is the feeling that you have value, not because of what you do or what you achieve, but just because you exist. It's the baseline, the foundation.
And the opposite of that is when your value feels like it depends on other people's opinions. We call that needing validation. Validation means approval, confirmation that you're okay.
And here's the problem with needing constant validation. It makes you fragile. Because the moment someone criticizes you or ignores you or doesn't react the way you hoped, your whole sense of yourself can shake.
I know that feeling. Someone left a rude comment under one of my photos once. One comment. And I spent the whole afternoon feeling terrible. And I kept thinking, why? Why is this one stranger's opinion ruining my day?
Because your self-worth was parked outside where anyone could reach it. And the work of self-love is slowly moving it, bringing it inside, where only you can touch it.
Moving it inside. I really like that image.
And it doesn't happen overnight, but there are small anchor sentences, phrases you can come back to, like, my worth is not decided by this moment, or I am allowed to be imperfect and still be enough.
Those are sentences worth keeping, writing them down even. Because when you're in a hard moment, you forget what you know. And having those words nearby, that matters.
It really does. All right, let's talk about the inner critic. That voice inside your head that, if it were a person, you probably wouldn't want to spend much time with.
It's like a bully who lives rent-free in your mind. And the worst part is, it sounds so convincing. It sounds like a fact.
Right. The inner critic says things like, "You're not smart enough for this. Everyone could see how nervous you were. You always mess things up." And it says them in a very calm, certain voice, like it knows.
But here's the most useful question I've ever found. Is this a fact, or is this fear?
Is this a fact, or is this fear? Say that again.
Is this a fact, or is this fear?
Because fear has a very specific feeling. It's like fog. It fills the whole room. It feels thick and real and everywhere. But facts are like a flashlight. They're specific. They're clear.
And when you turn on the flashlight, when you actually look at the thought, it often shrinks. I always mess things up. Do you always? Every single time? Or did you mess up this one thing in this one moment?
And that one thing in this one moment, that's not your identity. That's just a stepping stone.
Stepping stones, not stumbling blocks.
Exactly. And the practice is, every time that voice shows up, you don't have to fight it. You just ask, is this a fact, or is this fear? And slowly, the voice gets quieter.
Or at least, it stops running the whole show. Okay, the last big idea today, and this one feels important for anyone who has been through something hard. Bounce back.
Bounce back. It means you recover after something difficult, after a failure, a loss, a bad week. You don't stay down forever.
And people who truly love themselves, they don't bounce back because they pretend it didn't hurt. They bounce back because they find one small win to hold on to.
One brick at a time. You know that image? When a wall falls down, you don't rebuild it all in one day. You pick up one brick. You place it. Then tomorrow, another brick.
One brick at a time. And that's not slow. That's real.
And connected to that is self-forgiveness, which is, honestly, one of the hardest practices I know. Because when we do something wrong, or when something goes wrong, we carry it, sometimes for years.
But here's the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. And self-forgiveness is about keeping the lesson, learning from what happened, but putting down the shame. You don't need to carry that weight forever.
And if you're listening right now and you're holding something heavy, something you haven't been able to forgive yourself for, I just want to say, you are allowed to put it down. The lesson can stay. The weight doesn't have to.
Okay, we're almost at the end. And if there's one thing I want you to take from today, it's this. Self-love is not a destination. It's a direction. A small choice made again and again to be a little kinder to yourself than you were yesterday.
This week, we want to invite you to make one small upgrade. Just one. And we'd love for you to leave a comment. Finish this sentence. This week I will. Let us know. We read every one.
And if this episode meant something to you, please like it, share it, and subscribe to Real Talk. It really does help us keep going.
Thank you for being here today.
Take care of yourself. You deserve that.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.